What's up, guys? I'm Sam. We are here with my good friend Jess, aka the Cupcake Queen. She has such an incredible story. I'm so excited to get into this today. Jess, why don't you introduce yourself and tell me a little bit about what you're all about?
So, my name is Jessica. I'm a mother of three boys, 16, 11, and 9. A house full of athletes, sports mom to the fullest, and a small cupcake business owner.
You have birth. I don't know what is in your womb. It's some kind of like mega DNA. You have birthed some incredible athletes.
Monsters.
Yeah. Jaden is 16 and he is already being looked at by
He,
colleges.
he is.
And it blows my mind that he's already 16. How did our kids grow up so fast?
He's been playing since he was 5. We've been pushing this thing since then.
He's been dedicated since he was 5.
Very
This
dedicated.
child sleeps, eats, breathes football.
And he's a good kid.
He is. And then EJ, baseball.
He has took off in the baseball world.
And we worried about this one, honestly.
Yeah, so I still worry about this one sometimes. But his independence is coming out and he's growing up and he is so enthralled in sports. He hates school.
Oh,
He's not a school fan, but
Yeah.
he can tell you every statistic of any sport there is. Players, how many home runs they've hit, how many touchdowns, how many yards, where they went to college. He knows
so if
his-
he's interested, he's in it.
Yeah.
That's amazing. And then Kingston, he's the 9-year-old, and he's just now starting to really blossom in his own identity in sports. And how does he do in school?
Straight A's. Kingston makes straight A's.
Little brain act. So what you're telling me is the two boys are going to go pro, and Kingston is going to like be the one to coach both teams.
Probably like buy a team or something. 'Cause he's very smart with his money.
That is incredible. And a single mom to these three. You were telling me earlier how you just will get to one game or one practice and watch them bat or run a play, jump in your car, run to the other field, watch the other one, jump back in your car, run to the other field. Like this is
Like
the
a
reality.
literal nightmare.
Yeah, this is the reality though of being a single mom who is present, who is active. And I think a lot of people, they see and you do it with joy.
You have to, so you don't go crazy.
Absolutely. And so many people don't see that side of it. Social media is, I think, a double-edged sword.
Yeah,
It's a
always.
monster, but this is the reality of being a single mom. And then you're balancing.
And it takes a village. Like, I have other sports moms that help get to practice. Might have to go to a game if I have to work.
Yeah.
Might have to sit at this field while I'm at that field. My family it literally takes a village
Yeah.
when you're enthralled in sports as much as we are.
But aren't you glad they're out there on a field playing sports rather than sitting at home unmotivated, uninspired behind a game controller?
Now, we do have gamers, but we've got a good balance.
It's a balance, exactly.
So we hear the Fortnite, get in the lobby, all times of the evening. Can I get a Fortnite card? Can I get a V-Bucks? Can I do this?
Yep.
They would rather have V-Bucks than have milk in the fridge.
I totally understand that. Like they'll look around the house, what extra chores can I do? Like, why? What are you trying to buy? V-Bucks. So I want to take it back to how you and I met. Can we talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, let's talk about it.
There was such a vivid memory of us meeting up because we didn't really interact with each other after that.
No.
Because I went on bed rest and ended up
You
having
did go on bed rest.
and ended up having Titus early.
I had Kingston early
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's right. Like
because I had to have an emergency C-section
Yep.
with him.
Same thing. Same thing with Titus. But then we met up in the middle of the street.
Yes, we did.
EJ was running around, I think.
Bob was
He
probably
in
chasing him.
Yeah, he was in the driveway, and you had Kingston up on your shoulder, and just little bitty old squishy baby. And I vividly remember you going, "So, have you met any of the other neighbors?" And that's where it all started, because yes, bitch, I did.
Well, our household was an interracial household, and we were on the block kind of outnumbered.
Yeah.
Jaden was like 5 So he's just trying to find his own way and his little friends over there in the neighborhood, which way he
Yeah.
had little buddies, I guess.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then him and Noah played,
Yeah.
and
Him
that
and Noah connected really quickly.
which was good because I think Jaden kind of felt like outcasted a little bit, or he didn't fit in with the other two families that we lived by.
Yeah. But so that was our first interaction, and that was really, I didn't have any minorities in my family. Now we have LGBTQ people in my family, but we really didn't have any interracial relationships in my family. So being such good friends with you really shed light on the active racism that was still happening at the time. And going out with our kids in places to eat, people would have different reactions to my kids versus your kids.
Definitely.
And it was like infuriating, first of all, because here I am kind of sheltered from that and going, you know, the wool kind of being pulled back over my eyes and seeing things clearly. And then your lack of reaction made me even more furious, not at you, but for you, because I'm like, if you won't fight her, I will.
My nonchalantness is like one of my greatest assets.
Yeah,
It takes a lot to get me bothered
it
because
does.
I'm very nonchalant
Yeah, I have all the chalants. I'm Queen Chalant.
and I'm very non.
So, how did you? Now, you come from a family who wasn't really comfortable with this in the beginning either.
So, my choice in male partners has never been the best. I have a track record about 0 to 0. Never been a win. So I was 20 when I got pregnant with Jaden. My, family was not a fan of, his father.
Yeah.
And at the time, I'm like, well, they're trying to be assholes. They're, trying to be controlling. They don't want me to do this and do that. But in the long run, they had my best interest. They seen something that I could not see.
Yeah.
And they didn't want me to have to go through that.
Yeah.
First time around being a single mother started with Jaden.
Yeah. But your parents, I mean, loves, still to this day, like,
That
you
is
can't tell
their
them
baby.
anything.
That is their baby.
Yeah.
I have to give my mother a lot of credit because she has stepped in and mothered when I was slacking, and he has much love and respect for her.
Yeah.
So that's like our shared child,
Yeah.
and I'm okay with that because
I love
he
that.
he gives enough love for us both to share.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of times I couldn't have done it with her. Like I wasn't even in a place mentally where I could be the type of mother that I should be to him. So like she's like the strongest person that I know. So she has stepped in many ways, not just with Jaden, but with the other two.
Yeah. I think that's where you get it from, though.
She's like a real soldier. Like she's really the gangster of the family. You wouldn't know it, but she's really the gangster of the family.
It doesn't take long to figure it out, though.
No, she's not gonna take any shit.
Yeah, truly. And your dad is the polar opposite of her. He
It's
is.
like he's the funny,
Mm-hmm.
but me and Dad have like such a, you know, I cherish my relationship with both of them, but our relationship is just like we talk daily.
Yeah.
He's kind of worrisome.
Yeah.
Like, why do you answer the phone? Or like he's gonna call till you answer the phone.
Yeah.
Not just with me, with my sisters too.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, he had 3 girls, and he knew the reality of what could happen. What
And
can
we're
still
all
happen.
grown, and he's still. I mean, let me know when you get home. Like,
Yeah.
text me, you all right? If we're sick, you need something, you okay? So,
He's the type of dad that you'll be like, Dad, can you bring me a drink? No, I ain't bringing you anything. And 20 minutes later, knocking out the door.
yeah.
Oh, I found this on the side of the road.
I call him often if I need something, or like he's my lunch date.
Aw.
So, because
That
we're all
is-
grown now, so it's kind of like with me, not with my sister, because she's always lived on the straight and narrow.
Yeah.
I was the edgy one, but it's like we're all grown now, so they can have time to like be grandparents, like, which they still help us all, with our kids. But
And
like,
that's the reward, I feel like, for not killing your kids is they give you grandkids, and then you can spoil them and send them home.
I'm sure they wanted to kill me in numerous times.
I'm sure they wanted to, all 3 of you at different times.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So you became a single mom. You had Jaden.
Hmm.
Tell me about that season in your life. Were you still wild or
Wild as a damn buck. I was, him and his dad and I split up when he was like 2. So, he's never been a present father
yeah.
in Jaden's life. My dad is the male figure in his life and always will be. And luckily, he has formed, bonds with other people. He has a lot of people in his life that support and love him.
Oh, he has not a lack of love and people who pour into him. He doesn't have to worry about that.
Yeah, I was still making, really crappy choices. I just wasn't ready to sit down and be a mom. I wasn't responsible. I didn't cherish those times with him as I should have as a young mom.
Hmm.
Because I'm like, hey, he can go to my mom's or he can go to my granny's or, I'm just going to live my life. Very selfish. And it's, one of my biggest regrets because you can't get those times back. So,
Yeah.
like, I'm in, like, always feel like I'm in recovery mode. Anytime I make a mistake with this, with the kids.
Well, I pray that you can come out of that this year and that all of the progress that you've made, considering all of the adversity that you faced, that you can give yourself more grace this year because God knows you have raised some incredible kids. I mean, truly, aside from the talent, which that's not just raw talent, that has taken you sacrificing and paying for the camps and paying for the travel teams and all the extras and the gas to and from. You've had to pour into them to make this a reality just as much as them having to put in the effort to
Yeah.
to be the little men that they are. So I want you, I challenge you this year to realize that being a mom in a place of shame isn't going to get you where you need to be. Being a mom who gives herself grace is really going to, you're going to bloom.
That's going to have to be a God thing. That's kind of hard to do it on your own. But I do pray about, once if you're a Christian, you ask for forgiveness, God forgives you.
Oh,
Then
yeah.
you have to forgive yourself, which is the hard part. Forgiving yourself is the hardest.
Yeah.
It takes baby steps.
I
But I'm
understand.
getting there and I'm a trooper. So make it happen one day.
Well, we're going to get to that, what you carry with you now. But so you ended up meeting a new guy who was your ex-husband, who you had two more boys with, and that's how EJ and Kingston came to be. Now,
So I met him when Jaden was 5. Um, Went into his workplace, kind of started from there. We dated for about a year, moved into the home where we were neighbors at, and I was pregnant immediately
mm-hmm,
with EJ. So, blending families is not an easy task.
not at all.
So I had Jaden, that was mine, and then we had EJ. So we're all trying to make it. Me as a young mom, I mean, I was only 24,
Mm-hmm.
23, 24, very young, because we had just got married.
Yeah.
So I was very young, you know, just coming out of my wild phase, was happy to be married. That was, I was happy to be
Yeah.
married because I thought,
You were putting all into this marriage. You were committing 100%.
well, I mean, I was raised in a 2-parent home. So, like, the goal, like, my parents were wonderful and taught us, they always loved us and we always seen them love. So, like, when you grow up, that's what you want, to have a family that you're similar, what you come from.
So you had EJ, and then comes along Kingston, sweet baby king.
Kingston, see, EJ was almost 2
Mm-hmm.
when I had Kingston because I had EJ in 2013, I had Kingston in 2015.
Mm-hmm.
So here I am with 3 boys, 2 in diapers.
Yep.
That was very challenging.
Yeah. And that was about the time that I met you. And I can honestly say we would sit, because I was also a stay-at-home mom at this point, because it's insane. We've already established the child care, and we would vision cast like, oh, we could come up with all these things. We could start this business. We could invent this.
We had so many ideas.
So many ideas, just kids running around in the yard, and eventually one stuck for me and one stuck for you. And our businesses birthed at the same time.
They did.
I had the decorative painting business. And so we're sitting there. I came up with my decorative painting company, and you had this big idea for boutique, custom gourmet cupcakes. And tell me how that even happened in your brain.
Well, it happened. So I have two kids now, two toddlers and Jaden. So 3 kids, stay at home mom. So, my husband was like, if you want to stay home, I was getting bored. I was like, I got to do something. I was like, I'm just gonna start a cupcake business. Literally in my room, was sitting in one of the kids' gliders that I put them to sleep in. I created a Facebook page. At the time, it was called Sweet Treats.
Yes. It was like a real kitschy name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I started a Facebook page.
Yep.
I Pinterest, did my investigation research on Pinterest. I'm like, okay, I'm going to try some of these cupcakes.
Yeah.
So I started out, I went and bought me some tips. I went and bought me some piping bags. I come from a family who cooks. So, like, it comes natural, like cooking and baking, because everyone cooks and bakes in our family. So I just started, posted a few pictures, and I started getting orders. Minimal orders. And then I decided things were picking up. And I'm like, okay, this is going to be a good thing.
I can remember going to these little boutique shows and setting up, and I would have all this furniture, and we would display your cupcakes on them.
Yeah.
And your cupcakes always sold out.
Yeah.
I mean,
all the little, like, markets
yeah.
around Sumner County is where I kind of, built my foundation.
Yeah.
And then I did the Taste of Gallatin.
Yes.
And I ended up doing really well there. Sold out all my cupcakes there.
Because they are so freaking good.
They are really
I don't know
good.
what you put in these things.
Lots of love.
Oh my gosh, they're so good. Let's go ahead and just name off some of the flavors. Like, let's get these people really
So, like, a signature
unique.
one is the Jack Daniel's Honey Whiskey. So I use the Jack Daniel's in the batter.
That's
I
my
use it
favorite.
in the icing. My dad's favorite is the lemon raspberry.
Oh yeah, that one's good too.
My sister's favorite is the birthday cake. Cookies and cream is a big seller. But I have cupcakes on there that cater to every occasion. I remember I did steeplechase one year.
Yes.
And I did mint julep cupcakes.
Yes.
So bourbon whiskey, like a mint icing.
Yep.
When I did the Wilson County Fair, I had like a buttered popcorn.
Oh, I remember that. And you had the cute little caramel popcorn on the top. Oh my gosh. And they're just as pretty as they are yummy.
You eat with your eyes. So like once I got down to learning how to decorate them and like perfected my craft in that area, then you can just do endless things with cupcakes or cakes.
We ordered all of those for our client gifts for Christmas.
Yes, those were so fun.
Oh my gosh. People loved them so much. I had calls and texts asking about which ones, who did you say did these, We took them down to the car dealerships. They would literally, like, descend on the boxes, and then they were just gone. Just
They
poof,
don't last
gone.
in the room very long.
Not at all. And I think that I've never heard that before. You eat with your eyes. That is so valid.
Because, like, if you go somewhere and you have, like, a crappy meal or a dish, you're not going to be too excited to eat it.
Yeah.
So when you have
Presentation
something
is
pretty in
everything.
front of you, just like y'all's cars. Like, y'all got some badass cars.
Thanks. Cars and cupcakes, girl.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
We might be on to something.
So you did all of these incredible shows and events and stuff, and you ended up actually being on
The Food
the
Network.
Food Network.
So I get a call one day. I'm in the kitchen. The call comes in from like a Canada number. And I'm like, what the hell? Like, that's probably spam. So the guy's on the phone. He's like, hey, we have... So when you are a vendor at the Wilson County Fair, because, that's like the biggest fair in like Tennessee, in the state of Tennessee, they were like, we seen you on the vendor list. Like, we're considering you, to be one of our like participants on our show. So it was Carnival Eats. So I'm like, okay, let me know. So they were looking at a couple different people.
Yeah.
So they called me back like 2 days later. They're like, okay, we're going to go with it. So, like, we need you to prepare like a signature cupcake for the for the fair. So at that time, Kingston was in a stroller, EJ was terrorizing the house, and Jaden was getting a little bit older.
Mm-hmm.
So I believe I made 10,000 cupcakes that week.
Mm-hmm.
It took me a week to make it.
Mm-hmm.
I was a zombie
Mm-hmm.
because you had to stay at the fair from open to close.
Yeah.
So, my grandmother helped, Eric helped, mom and dad were watching the kids,
Yeah.
So I created.
I remember walking into your house and it looked like
Yeah.
you were hoarding cupcakes. They were on every surface.
Yeah.
Everywhere.
And at that point, I had got big enough where I had to buy a commercial oven.
Mm-hmm.
So we had totally transformed our kitchen.
Yes.
I had that big commercial oven. I had all those shelves. I think you gave me those shelves.
Maybe.
Those wood shelves.
We were always doing something.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, my house was furnished with your projects.
Oh, yeah. I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
The entryway table. I had some kind of little green thing you refurbished. And there was never a day I didn't look out my window and you were in the backyard spraying something or in the garage with cabinets hanging everywhere.
I know. The day you came over and I had the 12 pieces of furniture on the tarps in the backyard and you were like, you've done it. You've lost your mind. But
And I was like, and I want that.
yeah.
It was like a little hutch.
Yeah.
And in the doors, I kept that thing forever.
Yeah. Yeah.
Through all my journeys,
I love
I had that thing.
But it was the same with the cupcakes. I remember sitting and tasting the mini cupcakes that you had for the shows, the tasty shows. I don't know what I'm talking about, but
yeah.
And I would be like, this one tastes good. Oh, I need to try that one again.
So I ended up doing a cotton candy cupcake.
Mm-hmm.
So
that was so pretty.
So that was the one that they filmed me making. So that was a really cool experience. I had a whole film crew.
Yeah.
I had to bake them and ice them and do every single step.
Yeah.
We had to do it twice, so I've never done anything like that before. So, and then when it finally, my kids to this day, my dad has it saved on the TV at home. They love watching it.
Aww.
That was, they're you can hear them in the background, and that was a proud moment. It was a really big moment for cupcakes.
Yes, that's amazing.
So I did that. I've been involved with the Pink Bride show.
Yeah.
At the convention center.
Yeah.
I've done lots of bigger events.
You were on your way. I mean, it was just exploding. And then tragedy kind of struck when things fell apart with you and their dad. And you guys ended up splitting and he moved back to Alabama. Mm-hmm. And you ended up having to move out of that house because there was just no way to afford that and supporting 3 kids on your own as a single mom. And that's kind of where we lost touch. And so we're going to walk through this next season. You ended up moving away from Gallatin.
Mm-hmm. I did.
And you moved down into Nashville. And you stayed there for a short amount of time. Yeah.
So, being a young mom with 3 kids and marriage and jobs and businesses and blended families was a very hard thing to take on.
Yeah.
I made a lot of mistakes as a wife, as a mother. He made his mistakes. We had a very rough time where we hated each other. I hated him, he hated me. But, I'm glad that I went through it, because it, if I wouldn't have went through that with
mm-hmm.
him, the next hell of the life I had, and then the life that I have now, I wouldn't be able to look back on it and appreciate it.
Mm.
He's not a horrible person.
Yeah.
I was young, because he's a significantly, bit older than me, but, it was just a learning experience.
Mm-hmm.
Marriage is hard. That is not for the weak.
Yeah.
When you have so many things going on,
mm-hmm.
In a household, outside family, the lesson that I learned from that situation was, you have to be able to speak to your partner and be married to your partner.
Mm-hmm.
I had a lot of outside distractions and a lot of things that I shouldn't have been focused on. And mm-hmm. Communication is so important And,
Yeah.
you know, at that time I sucked at it. You know, and I had a lot on me as a mom of three, raising
Yeah.
a business, sports. You know, it was a lot of shit.
And you're absolutely not alone in that. That is such a common issue in young marriages. Um, Communication, I don't think, can be highlighted enough. And learn, like you said, learning how to communicate. And I wish that we were, as a society, better equipped, not
Yeah.
just with our spouses, but with each
Mm-hmm.
other.
Because I was a horrible communicator. Like, I would let something that he did piss me off and hang on to it because I'm not confrontational.
Yeah.
Like, I hate conflict.
Yeah.
I don't like to be yelled at. That is like a big no no.
Yeah.
Like, I will shut down if you yell at me. I just don't like to be yelled at.
Yeah.
And, you know, I didn't know how to communicate with what my needs were at the time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, now that I'm damn near 40, I know how important that is to be able to say, I need this, I want this, this is what we should do. And I
And
did,
as a young mom, you lose yourself too a little bit.
yeah, I lost myself a lot.
Yeah.
I lost myself completely
Yeah.
after, you know, our marriage went awry.
Yeah.
You know, that's when the next part of my life went haywire.
Well, the marriage wasn't a healthy one, and there was a lot of hurt, like you said, on both sides, and there was a lot of healing that needed to happen on your part. But I think the mistake that happened was, instead of turning inward and finding worth in yourself, you searched for it
I did
externally.
search for it
And that ended
externally.
up really costing you dearly. So you ended up meeting another guy
Yeah,
who was in,
several of them.
well, true, but this one specific individual was into some really bad things.
Mm-hmm.
But he made you feel valued and important and beautiful, and that is a tale as old as time. I've been in that position. I've talked to so many other women um who just need that so desperately, and they fall for it every single time, and understandably so. And I think that's what you got wrapped up in when you ultimately had your, what you could consider as a big downfall. I see it very much as just I think that's when your life began. Everything pivoted and you figured out what was most important. So why don't you walk us through what you feel comfortable, what you can
Yeah.
tell us about that?
So after, you know, we separated, I ended up moving back home with my parents for a while to get back on my feet.
Yeah.
I was doing, you know, had a corporate job, was doing really well, was making good money,
Mm-hmm.
was like getting back on track, you know. So I meet this young, reckless boy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to call him a boy because that's what it ended up to be.
Yeah.
And, you know, at the time, I was like fascinated, like infatuated.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you could not tell me shit about him. Like, I didn't speak to my family. I'm very defiant.
Mm-hmm.
So, and you know, I think my mom found out. So mom sent an email and was like, "Are you crazy?" Like, and I'm like, I'm not listening to any of that. Like, I'm going to be with this man come hell or high waters. Like, tarnished relationships with my family. Like, didn't care. Like, so it was like a fairy tale the first 90 days. Then it went straight to shit. You know, he was involved with selling narcotics, and, you know, that ended up leading to our house getting kicked in, which he was on fresh out of prison on parole. So that led to him, you know, getting, you know, he was going to have to go back to prison. So I'm like, we're just going to move. Like, let's move. Like,
Just pick up and move.
I'm going to save the situation. I'm going to say, you know, fuck this house, like, whatever. Ended up sending the kids, you know, with their dad for a couple months. You know, I was like, not myself.
It's like you were under a spell, and I don't understand how this is such a common thing. Like, these bad boys come in and know how to manipulate a situation, not placing blame solely on the other person, but I have watched it time and time again. They know how to manipulate women, and
I was so easily manipulated, like, because I was totally, like, in a different Like, my mom was like, something's wrong with you. Like, you need medication. Like, something is really wrong with
I
you.
remember visiting you the day of our first date.
Mm-hmm.
And I left with such a like pit in my stomach feeling, and I couldn't put my finger on it at the time, but it was like I I was terrified of him. I did not get good vibes from him, but it also made me sad to see you in such a daze, like such a state of brainwash with him, and I knew nothing I said was going to pull you out of
Nobody
it.
could have said anything. Everybody that I knew was like, Jessica, like, what the hell are you doing? Like, he is about to ruin your life. I remember standing in my mom's backyard one day. I had went out there. I think, my kids were there that weekend, or, it was like a random visit. And my mom was like, he's going to ruin your life. And I'm like, yeah, whatever. Like, you don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
So we packed up and moved to Davidson County. I was like, I have to get a job because I had quit my corporate job. I was still doing cupcake stuff, which, I still had a pretty good customer base. But even when I was going through that, like, I didn't care. Like, I wasn't focused on my business. Like, I just didn't care about what was going on.
Yeah.
And I was working at a car lot, which was, it was all right. It was a job, and I was making good money. And, I come home from work one day, and uh, him and, two other people were at my house. Like, that was like a disaster anyway. There was so much going on. Like, I wasn't at peace. Like, I was, in fear to go to sleep at night because I didn't know what was going on around me. But
Yeah.
I was so stuck in it, like, I couldn't see
Yeah.
clearly what was going on.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone else around me could see it, but I could not see it.
Yeah. Well, but I think it's a great misconception too, Jess, that people say just leave. Like it's that simple. When you get so deep into a lifestyle with someone, you have fear of that person and fear of repercussion.
Well, when you get in a relationship that someone mentally abuses you, which in my opinion is worse than physical abuse. I mean, physical abuse sucks. Like, I haven't really had to be in that. I haven't had to deal with that too much. I've had a couple little spouts of that here and there, but mental abuse is so much worse. And I was so, like, blinded. And I can't even, now looking back on it, like, I can't even blame it on other people because I was making those choices. And why I was making them. It's because I was so far mentally distracted. I just wasn't thinking clear. Like, I'm a very smart woman.
You
I was
are.
just making very dumb choices.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Which I think we all can relate to,
yeah.
honestly.
I didn't realize how much hurt I was causing to the people that loved me.
Yeah.
My kids, my parents, my sisters, my grandparents, others that cared about me. I don't have a huge friend group. I never have.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like women. I think they're assholes.
It's hard to
Most
find good
of
ones.
them.
Yeah.
I mean, I have my childhood friend that has never turned her back on me, no matter what.
Yeah.
Like, she's a real ride or die. Like,
Yeah.
no matter what. And we have supported each other through our own messes,
Yeah.
through our 37 years of life. And I'm so grateful for her for that. But, this is where it kind of takes a turn. So this is 2019. I get home from work. Just 3 other people in my home. He's like, hey, I need you to go drop me off over here, such and such, such and such. So I kind of had a funny feeling about it all anyway, but I was terrified of him
Yeah.
because he was a monster. So I just was like, all right. So I took them and dropped them off.
And you learn to act without questioning.
Yeah. Because there's so many people have asked me, like, what were you thinking? Like, I can't tell you in that moment what was I thinking because I don't know.
Yeah.
I wasn't thinking.
Yeah.
It was just like an impulsive, okay, we're going to do this, and you're going to do this, and this is what we're going to do.
Mm-hmm.
So, dropped them off, And then maybe like 45 minutes later, I get a phone call from him. Hey, come pick me up at the gas station. So I go pick
Which
him
is not
up.
where you dropped him off.
No, it's not where I dropped him off.
Yep.
So I pick him up. Actually walked in the store, bought me some cigarettes. We'll go back outside and get in the car. And he pulls up and gets in the car. Gets out of a random vehicle. Don't know who that person is. So we get back home. I knew something was off. So in the midst of all that going on, they took someone's life. So when I find this out, I'm terrified because I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And
And he tells you, if you tell,
oh yeah,
X, Y, and Z will happen to you. I'll make sure this happens. You'll never see your kids again. Like the threats and the intimidation. I cannot imagine how that feels and how many other people have been put in the same situation. And it's so easy for someone like me to sit back and go, well, if I was in that situation, this is what I meant earlier when I said you can't judge people's choices. You can't judge people's decisions because you don't know the list of options that they were given. And you really weren't given any options. It was, you will keep your mouth shut, and this is why.
yeah.
And hindsight is 2020, but still you never know who he knows and what influence he has on other people.
Yeah, so in true Jessica fashion, I pushed it down, put a facade on. He ended up going back to prison like 2 weeks later.
Thank God.
Yeah. So, I didn't sleep for months. I was about this big around. I looked like sick. Like, I looked like I was on some kind of crazy drugs. I looked awful. Like, it was just, but it was like eating me alive. But I couldn't project that because I didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
So I ended up moving back to, my hometown. My mom's like, this is the last straw. Like, we're going to help you get back on your feet. This is it. Like, enough is enough. Which, I get it. Like, I've, put you through hell. And then the hell just begins. So I get back to my hometown. I got a job, in the nursing field. Kids were playing sports. Things were like somewhat normal. Family kind of stuff was still rocky because, you lose trust. I have done things to betray their trust over and over and over. So everyone's always like walking on eggshells. So, like 11 months later, 9 months, 11 months later, I will never forget it. I picked the kids up from daycare because they were old enough to go to daycare then. So I picked them up from daycare. Kingston said he wanted a salad. I went to the grocery store, got their haircuts. I was in my kitchen sink washing some chicken. At this time, I lived like out in the country, so like my neighbors had never seen them. I seen this like white man walk past my window in the back. I opened the door. They have my house surrounded.
Oh my God.
Guns drawn. I mean, cops lined up on both sides of my driveway. They pulled me outside, put me in handcuffs. The boys were in the living room, so they didn't actually see them cuff me, but there was a plethora of cops in my house. So, they told me what I was being arrested for. I called my mom. Luckily, she was about 5 minutes away, and she was able to come get them. But, I wasn't able to say goodbye to them, because I didn't know what my life was going to look like after that.
Yeah.
So I ended up going to Wilson County Jail, had to sit for a bit, and then they transferred me to Davison County.
So what were your charges? Did they tell you your charges at that point?
Yeah, first-degree murder.
They were pinning that on you.
It was 8 charges. It's like all major, all big felonies. So,
wow.
I mean, like, I'm in shock, My mom's like, what the hell's going on? And I was like, it has something to do with, such and such. And I was on Channel 5 News the next morning. all over everywhere.
Wow.
Newspapers, the news. So, I'm seeing it when I get to jail. My family and the rest of the world gets to see it the next morning. So, the devastation and the embarrassment was very hard on, my family.
Yeah.
And I was just kind of numb.
Okay, so all of this happened in 2019.
Mm-hmm.
And then you were arrested in
2020.
2020.
Mm-hmm.
And that was right when the
COVID
world
hit.
shut down. So they put you in, and the courts shut down at that time?
The court shut down. Everything was pretty much shut down.
Not the jails, apparently.
Not the jails. So I missed. So at the time they were having like contact visits where I could have seen my kids, like if that was what we had chose to do.
Mm-hmm.
But everything shut down. So my journey with incarceration began. It was a experience.
Yeah.
It was really hard to. It wasn't really hard to get adjusted because you have to get adjusted.
Yeah.
You won't survive unless you get adjusted.
Did you see people come in and just not be able to assimilate, like have a mental break?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Lots of women, on mental health meds.
Mm.
Lots of different women in different walks of life.
Yeah.
Lots of women that were struggling with addiction that caused them to, commit crimes. Several of the women I were locked up with, went on to go to prison for bigger crimes that they were found guilty of. I mean, all walks of life, all ages of life. It made me look at my life and how blessed I was, because I had a great life.
Mm-hmm.
And like how lots of women that were in there with me came from 2-parent homes, good backgrounds, living, having been, not having to struggle. And, it's like, I ask myself a lot, how did I get here?
Mm-hmm.
I got to this point where I have almost ruined my life. I mean, and at that point it felt ruined because I didn't know what the outcome of the situation was.
Sure. And did you feel like you had a voice, like people were listening to you when you said, I didn't have anything to do with this?
Well, I didn't really talk about that. I mean, that's kind of like a rule of thumb when you're incarcerated. Like,
Okay.
don't talk about your case. Like, I mean, but it was on the news the very next morning I was there, so that's kind of how my journey started. Like, that's kind of how
And you
I
guys
was.
have access to the news?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow.
So that's kind of how I was looked at. Like, people were like, that's, I'm like, so, my attorney came to see me. He's like, don't talk about it to anyone.
Yeah.
I had an amazing attorney, not only to guide me in the direction of how to handle this, but he was very gracious with my family. And, nothing makes that situation easier.
Yeah.
But he was so kind and patient and forthcoming with, we don't know what your outcome is going to be. Like, I'm going to try to keep you out of prison, but, that's not my choice.
Yeah.
So I ended up, dealing with that experience.
And having all of a sudden your kids ripped away and you guys were separated for 3 years.
39 months.
39 months.
So we communicated through video visits, 20-minute visits.
Wow.
The relationship at that point was broken with my kids because, I'm not there.
Mm-hmm.
They're with my parents. They've had to adjust their whole life. My parents had to adjust their whole life. That was what made my time the hardest.
And what do you wish people knew about the people who are incarcerated or the incarceration process that now you know firsthand, but you don't feel like people really understand?
I think, like, when someone gets incarcerated, as a community as a, the outside world looking in. They're like, that's just a bunch of misfits. Like, lock them up and throw away the key. Like, a lot of people don't understand that process.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, if you go to jail, you're 18 and up.
Mm-hmm.
So you make those choices yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You got yourself there. And, I had to learn, like, I can't blame that on anyone else. Like,
Yeah.
I can't say,
You can't make excuses.
you can't. You just have to, like, face it. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I made a choice when I should have made a different choice, and this is what got me here.
Yeah.
And that was the hardest thing to swallow because then you have to sit in it.
Is there mental health access?
There is mental health access. I will say, like, in this area, as far as the correctional system, you see a provider, a mental health doctor, and you tell her what you're struggling with, and they put you on meds.
And that's it,
Yes.
pretty much.
And I feel like in the justice system, especially with women, like, counseling would have been an option to have. And I believe they tried it here and there, but to have that, I mean, a lot of people in our world need mental health meds. Like, not just women or people who are incarcerated. Like, some people have to have that.
Yeah.
And that's fine, but I feel like there's also, you have to have other outlets.
Absolutely.
And a lot of times in those situations, like, the other women that I was locked up with, like, we were each other's outlets.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I have had lots of conversations with lots of different women and vice versa. Like, you have to, like, they tell you when you go to jail, don't trust nobody, nobody's your friend.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that is absurd
Mm-hmm.
because, a lot of the women I was locked up with, we were there for a significant, a significant amount of time.
Mm-hmm.
So you get to learn about their families and their struggles, and a lot of times that's all we had was to talk to each other.
Yeah.
And some of them I'm still in contact with, and some of them I've left that part of my experience behind me.
I do feel like we dropped the ball as a society with mental health help and awareness in childhood. And if we would start treating the problem at the root rather than after it grows into adulthood, we would have a lot less of this to deal with,
Yeah, that's a conversation me and my mom have had a lot, throughout my lifetime. Like, I probably should have gotten on some type of medication when I was younger, to help me focus and, be more clear. And who knows if that would have made a difference. I don't know that it would have made a difference because I was very defiant. I was very, I'm going to do it no matter what you say. Who says it, who don't like it, I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
And, like, I hate that part of myself because I don't know how I got there.
I love that part of you when you focus that into something positive.
Yeah.
Because, Jess, I've watched you time after time, especially now overcoming what you're currently still overcoming. It's so inspirational. I mean, you're one of the strongest willed women and strongest emotional women that I've ever met in my life. And what you went through would have cracked a whole lot of other people. I don't know that I could have come out of it with as much poise and grace as you have, honestly. And I won't say you're a completely different person because I still see you, but it's like a better version of you.
Yeah. This is the best version of me that I have ever been.
Yeah.
I got through that. I came home. I've been home now for almost 2 years.
Yeah.
So
talk about that. The day you got out, the day they came and said, you're going home. And you were like, I'm going to see my babies.
Well, I knew I was coming home. I had finally got a bond. I didn't have one for like 3 years.
And the other 3 ended up pleading out saying you didn't have any knowledge. They got their
Well, they just took their sentences.
sentences, yeah.
And when I got out, Free Hearts, it's an organization in Nashville. They're a nonprofit. They help women with housing. They do a lot of things for the community. They have a lot of like seminars and things that focus on the justice system
Mm-hmm.
and how screwed up it is and like women's rights. And
Wow.
so they ended up helping me, get out of jail because I had a pretty high bond.
Mm-hmm.
And, I'm so grateful for them because, they help other, it wasn't just me. They helped out several women when I was incarcerated, make their bond so they could come home with her family.
Mm-hmm. Is that how you heard of them?
Yeah.
Through the other
Mm-hmm.
one?
So I ended up reaching out. I wrote a letter, talked about my story and, just kind of how my life was crazy and how I got myself where I got, where I had gotten to. Because I got myself there. Like, I can't put that on anyone else.
Yeah.
But first day home was, I seen Jaden first. So that's the first time I had physically seen him and, like, been able to touch him in 39 months.
Wow.
So it was like, I'll never forget that moment because my situation could have turned out totally different.
Yeah.
And the little ones were, I think they didn't know what to think because I had it, they were 4, 6, and 11.
Yeah.
So to comprehend that, like, mentally and emotionally, I know that was hard for them. And, they probably will never get over that. That's something they'll never forget.
No, but it can be something that they draw strength from as well.
Yeah, I mean, I have amazing children.
Yeah.
And, my parents, my family were like, I don't know. Like, they told me many a times, like, I don't know how your kids are going to feel about you when you get home.
Yeah.
But it was like things started, getting back to normal. I got a good job. My cupcakes started picking back up.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I was literally baking like 2 weeks after I got home. I was
Of
like,
course you were.
I was like, I wonder if I can still make cupcakes. So my first batch I made was like some lemon ones. I decorated them all pretty, and I was like, oh yeah, I still got it.
I got it. It's like riding a bike. Now you told me you took a culinary class when you were in jail,
I did.
and it was who was the gentleman?
He owns the cookery, so it's in South Nashville.
Yeah.
So they do. He basically helps homeless men. He employs them. They have houses. They have vehicles. And they have ministry there at the restaurant. So, like, we talked about my stuff, my story, many a times. And I told him what I would love to do
Yeah.
out of this experience.
Which is?
I would like to open a bakery and employ women who have records, domestic violence victims, women who feel like they cannot get anywhere because they have a past, and, teach them something that they can be passionate about and just give another woman another opportunity.
You know what's so funny about this is that I've always been told my whole life, being raised in the South and the women ruled the kitchen, and it was very much that you cook from the heart and that you shouldn't cook or you shouldn't bake if you're angry because then your food will be sour.
Yeah.
And it's all based in love. Like, it's a service. And so to create and have a dream to create a situation where women can come and pour out of themselves, something that they probably don't feel a whole lot of in the moment from other people, but to be able to be of service and give that back, and it builds confidence. And I think that is so beautiful.
I mean, that is like my love language. Like, I'm a very giving person.
Yes.
I have a very big heart. I like to help people.
Yeah.
And, that's gotten me in trouble a lot.
Yes.
But, that is my love language. Like, I love to create something that makes someone else happy.
Yeah.
And, my cupcakes will make you happy.
Your cupcakes make anybody happy. Turns any day around.
So, that's the end goal. But life is good. Like, I'm in a very peaceful place. My relationships with my family are great. And I'm so grateful for that,
And your kids haven't missed a beat. it didn't take very long for you guys to rebuild that bond.
No, because life just picked back up. Ball started the month that I got out, so we were right back at it.
So sports really became kind of the foundation that you guys rebuilt your relationship on, because God knows you love sports.
I do.
I know very few women who love football as much as Jessica.
I do, and will always love football.
Yeah, absolutely. So you're, and just since you've been with me this morning, I mean, your phone has been blowing up with messages from your kids the whole time. They're in school.
Yep, guilty as charged. Yep.
But they are such mama's boys, and that's another testament to not only have you rebuilt yourself, you have a home, you have a car, you have the cupcakes, you have, and a job.
And I love my job.
You do.
I do love my
Because you're
job.
working with food and you're working with people.
It's, family owned, and, everybody has their own story there.
Yeah.
Maybe not like mine, but everyone has their own story. And I've never worked somewhere where it's such a, like, family environment.
Yeah.
Like, I am so blessed for
Yeah.
that job. I love my boss. And, I mean, she's given me... I had a cupcake event there in October.
Oh, you did?
Or November, end of November. She let me use it for, like, a little pop-up shop. Like, she has given me an opportunity to have my desserts in there. So
And you cater weddings and birthday parties and anniversaries and anything.
divorce parties,
Baby showers.
baby showers.
There's not an event or a rite of passage that cupcakes aren't appropriate for.
No.
I'm sorry. There just isn't a bad time for cupcakes.
There's not a bad time for cupcakes.
Especially, there's a cupcake for all occasions as well. There's a flavor, there's a look for any occasion. So, why don't you shout out all of your socials where people can find you?
So Instagram is prettycakes1013.
Okay. We'll have all of them linked in the show notes as well, but
Yeah, it's probably
Instagram-
best that you link it.
Instagram is the main one where people can really stay connected with you. And you're getting better about posting
Yeah, I'm
updates.
a horrible poster.
Well, because, one, you're a single mom, you're busy, and two, you're so integrated in your life. Like, you are present in the moment, and that's such a beautiful thing.
Yeah, life in our household, is work, dinner, chores, practice, games, all the above. It's, but I like longed for that so bad when I was away. Like, I find it hard for myself to complain now because that's like what I wanted.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't know what my life was going to look like when I came home, but it has turned out to be, I'm very happy.
Yeah.
I've never been one to be content. And
And
I'm
look
very
at you.
content.
I love that. Well, I'm just going to go ahead and put this out into the universe that I believe the seeds are already planted for your business venture. And anyone who's listening to this podcast, if this is a journey that you would love to keep up with or be a bigger part of, please contact us. Please contact Jess on her socials. This is not a story that we're walking away from. This is one that we are absolutely going to be doing updates. I'm following you like a hawk. I'm so excited, and I know that what is going to be restored is going to be 10 times more than what you lost.
Yeah. I mean, like, we have a gracious God. Like, I would not been able to make it. Like, I have a very God-fearing mother. Sometimes when I'm not God-fearing, she's God-fearing, and she has prayed me through a lot of situations. Like, I can't really take credit for any of it because I wouldn't have been able to do it by myself.
I hear that. So if you could look back and tell 20-year-old Jess anything, what lessons do you think that you would, even though she wouldn't have listened,
She wouldn't have
or if
listened.
there's a young woman that's listening to the podcast, what points would you just beg that they listen to?
Don't settle. Like, if you have low self-esteem, low confidence, don't feel like you have to find that in someone else that's toxic, abusive, involved in, shit that you're not supposed to be involved in. Like, just be able to find your inner peace and your inner self, however that may look. Like, find a hobby, get a supportive group of friends. Like, I just settled many a times because, I didn't understand that I didn't have self-esteem or self-confidence, and that I was trying to fill a void that no one could fill but God.
Yeah.
And, not saying that I've made mistakes since I've been home, like, with people.
Mm-hmm.
But I know that, as a 20-year-old, I would say do not settle. Like, I was willing to sacrifice the things that I had going good for me to feel like I had to be loved by someone.
Yeah.
When there was, I was really loved more than I could imagine. I just couldn't see that at the time.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think there's something too, also, when you said earlier that you wish you had been evaluated by a mental health professional at a younger age, because there's no telling what kind of help was out there, even if it was just through counseling.
Yeah.
If there was a diagnosis that could have been helped with medication, whether it was anxiety or depression or ADHD.
Yeah, because I've had so many opportunities. Like, straight out of high school, got a cheerleading scholarship, didn't take it. Was in nursing school, couldn't finish it. There was so many opportunities that I could, like, my life could be totally different right now, which I'm glad I had the journey that I had.
Yeah.
Because, it's made me who I am today. It took a while.
Well, that's okay.
But, I'm grateful for it.
37 is the new 27.
I'll be 38 in a couple weeks.
It's the new 28.
But it's okay. Like, I live a very slow life. I always was attracted to fast pace, fast money, fast cars, fast men, fast whatever. Like, I thoroughly enjoy the slow pace life.
Aw.
Like a granny.
That's okay.
I take my kids to school sometime in a bathrobe.
Oh, girl, that's my favorite.
And slippers.
I love it. I love showing up in the mornings looking homeless and
Yeah.
in the afternoons looking like $1,000,000.
Yeah.
Same person.
How to do it.
Well, Jess, thank you so, so much for sharing your story. I know that it's going to change so many people's lives that listen to this. I can't even imagine the amount of people that are going to be able to relate to some part of it. And it's so brave what you did talking about this. A lot of people carry shame with them like a coat, and you're just throwing that off of your shoulders and saying, here I am, this is me, I love me, I don't need your approval or acceptance because I love and accept myself. My kids love and accept me, and that's enough. And I think if we boiled the message down to anything, it's that you are enough. Just as you stand, you're enough. So we're going to leave all of Jess's socials. We're also going to leave links to mental health help, crisis lines, and anytime that you guys need to reach out, our socials and our text system is always, always open. And this is our commitment to the women and youth that listen to our show, is that we will always be here to reach back out and to help you to find the help that you need. So,
Well, I appreciate you having me. I love you dearly.
I love you too. And I'm so excited for your journey.
I'm excited for it too.
Y'all stay tuned because she's going to do big things.
Yes, ma'am.